Wow, that was fancy. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Nine Sports Podcast, the hockey edition. I'm your host, Maya Smith. Today is the first ever episode of the hockey podcast, and I'm so glad you're here. I promise I will not always sound like this, but somehow I'm losing my voice on the first day of recording. But I've been playing hockey since I was 5, and I grew up playing goalie. I've been covering the sport with the Ice Garden since 2021, and now I'm the Vancouver Goldeneyes writer, and we just joined the Nine families. So, hello. I don't think I've really talked to any of you Nine family people before, but I'm really excited to be here with you every other week to talk about all things hockey. And so today we're going to be talking about Seattle's record-breaking home opener, where all the teams are in the standings after November, and if expansion teams should be panicking after their first few games in the league. But most importantly, I'm here with Alyssa Turner, my dear friend and occasional co-host. You'll recognize if you listen to our PW in 20 podcast over on the Ice Garden feed. She is a regular contributor with the Ice Garden and behind many of the most iconic and posts from Sportsnet. So welcome, Alyssa. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful because I'm recording with you. How are you, Maya?
Besides the fact that the universe wanted me to sound sick for the first episode, I'm great. I'm so happy you're here, and you're going to be here regularly as well. Maybe not as regularly as me, but as often as you can because we love recording together, and it's going to be great.
I'm stoked. I'm fired up. It's just I feel like the last couple months here with the Ice Garden have been really exciting, and this is just another new step with that. But yeah, I'm fired up to be here.
Awesome. I'm so glad to have you. Now, let's get into the number one at the 9, which is 60 seconds on our top headline of the week. And so, our top headline of the week is that the Seattle Torrent broke the U.S. attendance record for any women's hockey game and the PWHL record for the most attended home opener, with 16,014 fans packing the building for their home opener. Our Seattle Torrent beat reporter, Sylvia Leja Rosas, was on site, and she captured the atmosphere perfectly in her most recent article for the Ice Garden. Seattle's Torrent break record, arrive with purpose in their first home game. And you can read that now on the Ice Garden. She said, fans wrapped around the concourse in a merch line that never seemed to shorten. Lesbian icon and Grammy Award-winning singer Brandi Carlile was in the building. So was Sasha Colby, the winner of the season 15 of RuPaul's Drag Race. Youth teams from across the state dressed in their own jerseys waved their rally towels. Older fans, the ones who had once had to follow the sport from afar as it grew in other markets, raised their signs and chugged their beers in celebration that this moment had been a long time coming. It's just so amazing to see the fan reaction to this, and also just the way that Sylvia summed this up. I feel like I was there. She's a fantastic writer. What does this mean to you, Alyssa? You and I have been covering this sport for such a long time.
Oh, I got chills when you were reading that off, and I had read it before, but hearing you say it, wow. Just so cool. Also, it's so cool to see these the two expansion teams. They both have played, one their home openers so far here. It's so cool to see them get this reaction and the crowds. And I watched the start of that Seattle game, and I watched the start of the Vancouver one, but the Seattle one specifically, that crowd was just buzzing. It was just I had chills. And it also felt good to know that it wasn't a one and done. It wasn't a takeover tour game, if this is their home, this is Seattle, this is where they play. I didn't think I knew women's hockey could get here, don't get me wrong, but I never thought we would get here as quick as we did, just because of how it all went. But wow, just it makes me speechless almost, which is not very good for a podcast, I guess.
No, exactly. But it is. It's just I was at the Vancouver one, and I just started basically. I didn't fully cry, but I was about to start crying in the press box because I was just I can't believe that we're here. You played hockey growing up, and so did I, and it was just we've gone from being walking into a rink and it being why is there a girl here, to all girls, fans packing the stands to see them. And I also think it really speaks to the work that the PWHL has done with the takeover tours to find the right markets, because Seattle and Vancouver both were takeover tour games last year, and it was clear that the market was there. and then now the fans are showing up and they've been rewarded with this team. And I think we'll probably see that this offseason as well. If they do expand to 4 teams, 2 to 4, whatever, like they're going to be picking these markets that already have proof. And that just makes a huge difference.
100%. And like, Hillary Knight posted a TikTok and it was like that trend where it's like you're gonna do so and so and it's really important that you do so kind of thing. It was kind of like that, but it was, you know, from dressing in the shower in the first season of the NWHL, and she had like a photo of her stall, but it wasn't a stall, it was literally just the hooks that were in this raggedy like old locker room next to the shower, and then to being in front of like a sold out crowd and one of the newest expansion teams as the captain. And like I think that's just like a big testament, and like Nighter's been pretty much in every league since here. And yeah, it's been a long time coming, and I wish there was, you know, past players like Megan Augusta being in Vancouver. I sobbed. Like I love Megan Augusta. Like she has some Windsor ties too. So like I met her when I was like 9 years old, and like she's always been that one player for me, other than like a few others. But like I wish, like, you know, it was sooner, but I'm so glad it's now, because like again, like I said earlier, I didn't know if we'd ever get here.
So yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, it's so great. And I loved how they had Megan Augusta of the inaugural puck drop in Vancouver. Just like, as much as sometimes this league doesn't do the best job of acknowledging where they've come from, it was very cool to see them bring in somebody like that who has had a huge impact on the sport and obviously on the fans as well. Mm-hmm. So that was
I can't even imagine how that felt for her too, right? Like Megan Augusta is someone who played a little bit in the CWHL, but like if you go back, like she played like beginning of the CWHL. Like if you thought the CWHL crowds in 2018, 2019 in their final season were small, like think about where they were in like 2013 and like when she did play. Like I can't even imagine how she felt, you know, being out there for that. And yeah, it's just incredible. And like Seattle fired me up. Like I was like I was really excited for that market, and like in particular, I knew Vancouver would be like, I knew they would all fall in love with that team, but like Seattle really fired me up at their home opener. Like that was just, it's so cool.
Me too. And it was amazing, like as Sylvia said in her article, having like Brandy Carlisle there and then Sasha Colby like on the Zamboni. Like to me, so cool. It was just proof that this, as much as we do have some like issues with how the league has been, you know, not having their like gender policy and stuff like that, like they're just embracing the people who are fans of this league. And it's just very good juxtaposition compared to what we've been seeing other places where those people are being ignored. I was really happy to see that they like promoted their queer fans and know that that's like who helped build them. So
yeah, it was nice to see. Yeah, 100%.
Awesome. And then before we jump into our next two points, I just wanted to say that all of us are thinking about Carla McLeod with her breast cancer diagnosis. The game last night, Ottawa and Minnesota, it looked like the whole crowd was basically there dressed in pink and with signs for her. And I hope she knows how loved she is among all the fans and players in the league. And so we're sending well wishes to her and her family. And she's strong. She's going to get through this.
Yeah, so she's a fighter.
We'll be happy to see her back behind the bench. Speaking of behind the bench, so the standings are in for the month of November. I also included last night's game. There are 2 games tonight, Wednesday night when we're recording this, so we don't know what's going to happen there. But as it all stands, the Boston Fleet are at the top of the standings, currently undefeated with 6 points. The Frost jumped up to second with their win last night in Ottawa. They also have 6 points, and the New York Sirens are third in the standings after 3 games. Also,
just like we all predicted.
Right, exactly what we all thought. Yes, and then the Victoire, the Charge, and the Torrent are all. That's not right. The Victoire and the Charge and the Scepters are all tied with 3 points, and then you've got Vancouver with 2, Seattle with 1. So, as you were hinting at, what the heck is happening? Why are the Boston Fleet undefeated?
Aaron Frankel.
Valid. Very valid.
I've also really liked the way Boston's played in their own end so far. Again, this is such a small sample size.
Yes.
Like Boston's played 2 games. They're undefeated. They have 3 points. But like this point of the season, like only a handful of games have played, but that's all we have to go off of. So that's what we're gonna do. But really like the way Boston's played in their own zone, and I think Aaron Frankel is the leader of that. But just defensively, like they're just not giving up anything, like anything at all. And again, only 2 games, but really nice to see, especially after like last season, bit of a disappointment, not making the playoffs after going to the World Cup final, all that. But yeah, it especially, you know, like Boston, every team lost a lot of players, but like Boston lost Hillary Knight, like Boston lost, you know, like they lost a couple. Do you know how many times I keep thinking she's still on Boston?
I know.
I've been like making content for like the games that are on Sportsnet, and I'll be like, yeah, I'll feature Niter, and I'm like, no, I won't.
No,
she doesn't play on Boston. Alyssa, like, what are you doing?
And the jerseys are really similar too. So
I think that's what's getting. I think it's the jerseys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like the way Boston's played in their own zone. Aaron Frankel's been a big part of that. And Minnesota just still looks like Minnesota. Like they're just a very difficult team to play against. They're annoying, they're hard hitting, and they're really, really good on the power play still. And like, yeah, Kendall Coyne Schofield with a hattie last night. Hello.
I know. I was like, I'm worried because Minnesota has won the last 2 years not being a good team necessarily, like in the regular season. And now I'm like, oh no, they look
Maybe
good.
This is what we need, though. It's the prophecy. Yeah. It's being fulfilled.
Exactly.
It's 3 games in.
But yeah, and then I mean, like those 2 teams for me, like they're surprising because they lost a lot of players and like very key players, like Jakes and Thompson from Minnesota, Kava, McQuigg, they're literally all on Vancouver now. But anyway, they got 1 player back. But the Sirens are kind of a different story because yes, they lost some really key people, but they also drafted a lot of really good players. So what do you think about them so far?
So we had the Sirens game on the TV the other day, and my girlfriend goes, "Why is there a graphic on the TV that says rebuild era?" Like for the Sirens, she knows hockey super well, but she's like, "Isn't the league like in its 3rd year?" I'm like, "Yeah, but they're rebuilding." She goes, "Yeah, but it's year 3." I'm like, "They're rebuilding," and it's like almost every player on their like roster right now was either drafted this past draft or the draft before. They're young. Like they're really, really young. Yeah. I don't know. I think Calty hasn't scored yet, but if you next Sirens game, if you have the opportunity, watch 98 on New York. What a pest.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, she is unbelievable.
I think she got one last game too, but like right at the end of the game. So she's like, yeah.
Once she starts like putting it in the back of the net like consistently here, like that's scary. Like she, you know, she's a Czech player, so like she kind of goes a little bit under the radar in terms of like North American star power here, but she's a lot of fun. Philia still hasn't got fully going, which is also kind of scary.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're fun. Like they're gritty, they're fun. Goaltending's been pretty good.
The goaltending's crazy considering they lost Schroeder.
Yeah.
They have 2 like really, really young goalies and they're playing great.
Yeah, no, I've been a big fan. I think there's something really fun building. I think there was a lot of questions in the off season. You know, some of the trades they made, they, you know, shipped Shelton off to Toronto and a few other things. A little unknown, but I've liked their game a lot so far. I think they're that gritty young team that nobody really believed in, and they're playing quite well.
Yeah, I'm excited to see if they can keep that up because I think they've not had like the worst start to their last 2 seasons, but then they've definitely gone downhill.
They go down, yeah.
Hopefully they can hold that. And then really like the other 3 non-expansion teams, they're just kind of there. Like
they're there.
I don't think that they're like having a bad start to the year. That they're just having a start and it's just not as noticeable because of how the other teams are playing.
Shout out Kirk in Toronto.
Yeah,
she's been great.
She's playing great.
She's playing unreal. Yeah. And then Abby Rock, welcome to Montreal. Those between the legs goal on the breakaway against her old team, and then in the post-game presser goes, "Yeah, I've never even practiced that." As I was doing, I thought it was stupid. I'm like, "Okay, Abby Rock, we get it. You're Abby Rock. Like, you don't need to
literally."
Yeah, like that's the most Abby Rock 1 quote and 2 goal on your new team against your old team. Like, what a rock star, literally.
And like, I love how everyone is just leaning into like the rivalry that she and Pooh had last year. Like, even Pooh was like posting on social media, like fighting her and stuff. Like, It's so funny. Like, I'm not really the biggest Abby Rock fan, partly because she never was on a team that I liked. So
Mm-hmm.
now that
Yeah,
she's on
she's American,
Montreal,
right? So like you're
also
used to,
that, yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
she's just like, yeah, always making life hell for the Canadian teams. So maybe now that she's on Montreal, I can be a
It
little
seems like
happier.
she's really buying into it as well. Because like I don't know if you saw her Instagram post ahead of the season, but the caption was like "enemies to lovers." And I'm
Yeah,
like, heck yeah, Abby! Like yeah, that's what
I
I'm
love
talking about.
it.
I
And
love
these
it
are the
so much.
storylines that keep people watching. So I love
100%.
to see
Yeah.
it. But yeah, so then, okay, this brings us to kind of like, I have some thoughts about this, but I want to know what you think. So Seattle and Vancouver, on paper, I think, and a lot of people talked about this in the off season, they felt that the original 6 teams got a bad deck of cards, hand of cards, I guess, in the off season, losing so many players, and that Seattle and Vancouver were just going to come out and absolutely destroy everybody. And here they are at the bottom of the league. So, do we need to be panicking? Do they need to change anything, or is this just growing pains?
I don't think there's need for panic, but I will say, uh, Blake Turnbull was on the pregame show. It's a Sportsnet
Oh
show,
yeah.
and she had a quote saying, and I'm paraphrasing here, but it was like, "They stole our players. We're not happy about
Mhm.
it, and so we have like something to prove. Like we have like a chip on our shoulder here." And I think that's a part of this that a lot of people kind of didn't like realize because they're like they have all these great players. And you look at the rosters and it's like holy moly, like these rosters are unreal. Like look at Vancouver, it's like like it's like
Mhm.
stacked. Like it's
Fantasy team, I
yeah,
think is how someone described it the other day.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like if you were to draft a fantasy team like that, Vancouver is a great example of that.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people forgot the other side of that of like, we're pissed. Like those were our buddies. Like those were our we went to war together for 2 seasons and you guys just went, whoop, we'll take you. Like so it makes sense why these teams are playing them extra hard. But at the end of the day, I don't think there's like need to panic. It's a long season. Obviously, it's not like the longest pro hockey season because there's only 18. I almost said there's only 6 teams, but there's only 8 teams. No need to panic. I think it's just going to take some time to adjust to how they need to gel. I think if you think about like other leagues of expansion, like you kind of see this as well. Like it takes a bit to mesh. It takes a bit to also you're living in a new city. Like obviously
Mhm.
they've been there for a few months here with training camp and some players were there over the summer, but like it takes a lot to adjust to a new lifestyle, a new routine, a new city, maybe a new
Mhm.
country. Like
Coaches too and
yeah,
GMs,
like
yeah.
I think like there's no need to panic. And like again, look at the roster. Like I
Exactly.
on both teams too. Like you're in Seattle, like you could put out Knight, Carpenter, and freaking Bilka. Like
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
that's like that could be a top line on Team USA at the Olympics in 2020, like this upcoming winter. Like
Mhm.
I don't think there's any reason whatsoever to panic, but I do find it really, really like spicy and interesting, especially that Turnbull quote being like, "Yeah, they stole our players. We're not happy. Like we don't want to lose to this team. Like we're mad at you."
I loved hearing that from Blair too because
Mhm.
I think she's very reserved. Like I don't find her as like a super like feisty player, but that quote I was just like, "Oh yeah, this is why she's the captain of this team."
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
she's not a super feisty player in that terms, but if you hear her in like a post game or like an interview like that, like she'll give
Mhm.
you a couple one liners like that. Like she's a very strong leader, and she proves it in many ways. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting. I'm like, damn, like I didn't even consider that. Like
No, I didn't
it's
either.
like it's true though. Like you think about, Toronto playing like let's say Vancouver, for example, like Sarah Nurse, like she's been injured the last
Yeah.
like game or two, but like Sarah Nurse, like that was like
Mhm. Huge part of
she's
their
been a
team.
Toronto sports icon for years.
Yeah,
And then
and
they were
Hannah
just like, boop,
Miller.
take
Mhm.
so no crap. They're like, hey, we don't like you already. Like you just got here, but we don't like you. You took our friend. So
Yeah, and you and I know from playing that like you also play harder when you're playing against your friends.
yep.
So like obviously you want to text your friend on the expansion team after the game and be like,
Uh-huh.
"Too bad you're not here. Guess we got you."
Could be on the winning side. Yeah, no, I think that's
Yeah.
like a really interesting perspective. And shout out to Blair for bringing that up because
Mhm.
I don't think she's alone in that. Like, I truly believe, like, there's probably many other teams and many other players who feel the exact same way.
Yeah, and I mean, as you were saying too, like the talent when after Vancouver's first home game, which feels like 5,000 years ago.
No, it feels like so long ago.
So long. But you know, I asked in the post game, I asked Abby Boreen actually, like, because they were playing from behind a lot, like what was the discussion on the bench and in the dressing rooms, like when you need a goal? And she was like, well, it was to just not panic, to just play our game. And Coach Idelsky like echoed that, because he was like, if you look at the talent on our team, we have the talent to beat any team in this league, so we don't need to worry about that. Now that they've lost 2 games, I'm panicking slightly, just because I think like the no panic is maybe not working very well. But I do think there's also something to be said, and I did ask Claire Thompson about this in the like media availability they did while they were on the road, that like they're on the road for a long time, and Seattle
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
You go, especially Vancouver, first game out of a freaking like, you know, like you're like that adrenaline. Like I can't even imagine that it's like, okay, we're gonna go on the road. And it's like, oh, I just went from up here to like I have to leave this bed that I just got comfortable in. I have to leave this apartment, this house, this condo, wherever that I just got comfortable in. And I have to go on the road for something games.
Yeah. And then you're, and like they she did say that like part of that's great because as a team you bond so much on the road. So getting to know each other well.
Yeah.
But then you know, what I've kind of been thinking about is like you just don't have the time that you have when you're at home to sort out any of the problems. So with Vancouver, we've been seeing like the same issues every single game. The D zone play is really bad. They can't break out of the zone. They're not shooting enough. Like all those things are not really things that can be fixed with like the odd practice or morning skate when you're on the road. And I think once they're back home at the end of the week, they'll be able to iron out like a lot of those issues that they're having. But yeah, when you're on the road for 4 games, there's not that much you can do.
No. And again, like you just got to that new city and like you're just getting comfortable. You have like this insane like Sarah Nurse in her post game saying that's the craziest she's like ever felt like emotional wise in a hockey game. Mind you, this is the same player who broke the Olympic record for points in a single tournament, like has played in crazy world championship games, has played in, you know, like crazy even in college, like crazy games, like, and that one home opener she said was one of the most like emotional, like she's never felt that way before. And then you're like, okay, like you're gonna go on the road. Like Abby Boreen, like you just like you just talked about Abby, like also I need more players to celebrate like how she did on that goal because that was electric. Everyone needs to celebrate like that. But like again, you just became the hero in Vancouver for the like everyone's like, oh my god, you just scored the first overtime winner in franchise history. Get on a bus tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd probably play like crap the next couple games too.
Yeah, and
not to say they're playing like crap, but like, you know, I'd probably be a little bit off and discombobulated a little bit for sure.
Yeah, and you're playing with players you maybe haven't played with before, and against players who have all played together before, or at least if they have.
Mad at you.
Yes, exactly. It's like all a recipe to not go well. But I think like ultimately, and as you said earlier, we're 3 or 2 games into the season. There's like so much that will change, even like between tonight when we record this and when this goes live tomorrow. There's not really much to be worried about. Oh, no, this also isn't the NHL. They're not just gonna like wake up tomorrow and trade some player to the other side of the league. Like that doesn't happen. So they'll stick to their guns and the strategies that they want, and it'll be great. So.
Yeah, I think the 3-2-1 point system too makes it so interesting as well, right? Because it's so high and it's so low. Because you know you get a win like Boston right now. They've only played 2 games, but they're at the top of the standings, undefeated with 6 points, and they're at the top because they haven't lost yet. And like you know, if they drop a game or 2 here, they're now 500, and they're probably in like 4th. So like we talked about this the past 2 seasons, such an up and down league, and especially because of that 3-2-1 point system. And, you know, Vancouver wins a game here or 2 before they get home, and then they win the one at home. They're second in the league. Like, it's so up and down. It's And like if you're listening to this and you're new to the PWHL, like buckle up, because like it goes up and down. Like it goes right up until like the final game of the season to like those last couple playoff spots. And like it's still 4 teams, right? That's the
So this year it'll be even bigger of a deal.
It's even bigger. Yeah.
4 teams that are gonna miss the playoffs.
Yeah, makes it real interesting.
Yeah, and you never know. With the Olympics being in the middle of the season as well, that's going to put a huge wrench in things. If somebody gets hurt, God forbid, like I really hope that doesn't happen. That could, like, there's so many things happen. So it's only game 3.
Only game 3.
but
also
anyway,
you can panic. You're allowed to panic.
You want to be like scared. We can be scared.
If you want to be scared, we can also be optimistic.
Yeah, it's just like whatever type of person you are.
Exactly.
So I just want to tease what's not happening this week, partly because Vancouver's been on the road, partly because it's like the beginning of the season. The hope is that for the next episodes, there will be an interview here with a player. But I just haven't managed to grab somebody yet to do that. So hopefully in a couple weeks you'll see that, but that's something to look forward to on the next few episodes. So yeah, anything else you want to say about this week, Alyssa?
No, I just like I'm so grateful that the league is at where it's at. I think it's really exciting. And yeah, I can't wait till we chat next and the standings are flipped upside down.
The next episode is gonna be, should Boston be panicking?
Should Boston be panicking? Is Erin Frankel washed? Just kidding. She's literally insane. She's so freaking good.
And it makes me worried about the Olympics. And that's a whole other topic that we have to discuss.
I don't want to talk about the Olympics yet. It makes me too stressed.
Yeah. Well, next time that I chat to you, the next rivalry series games will have happened. So stay tuned for another episode in a couple of weeks. Thank you, Alyssa, so much for being here. If you want more women's hockey, check out the Ice Garden and also the 9 Sports. We have episodes on this podcast feed Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Soccer Monday, Hockey Wednesday every other week. Oh, that's not true. Monday, Tuesday, Soccer, Thursday, us, hockey, and Friday, women's basketball. And then also on the 9 daily podcast every single day of the week. For 5 minutes, get like your women's sports little hits that you need before you go to work. And yeah, please check out the 9 Sports, and thanks for being here. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, share, rate if you want to, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.